Let's learn about the various database operations in AccuTrack 2016. In this video, I'll be going through some of the most common database operations that you'll be performing in AccuTrack, including putting a blank database out on a shared network drive and pointing my AccuTrack to it. I'm going to show you how to copy a database. I'm going to show you how to back up a database through the software. I'll then upgrade an older database, an AccuTrack 2014 database in this case, to AccuTrack 2016, and then I'll show you where the repair and clean operations are for AccuTrack. So I've got the main sign-in screen open now with AccuTrack. I'll log in as an admin, and I've opened it for the first time, so my database by default is going to be pointing to a tutoring sample database located on my own drive. Now ultimately we would want to have a blank database so we can import our records into it and begin using it, and we would want to put that on a network drive so all the various AccuTrack computers can point to that same database. Now out here on my network I've got a server called ENG server. I've created a folder out there called 2016 AccuTrack DB. So what I'm going to do now is go get a blank database. And where is that located? It's in the install folder for AccuSQL 2016. So program files x86, Accu 2016 is the default path. And I have an AccuData folder. AccuData is a blank database. Now every database in AccuTrack has an associated data dictionary. So I'm going to copy the AccuData and data dictionary folder out to my network drive. So there's my database out on the network. I can double click on that, and this is all of the tables that comprise my database. Now once I've done that, I can now go to database location and change my folder path from the default tutoring sample here on my own drive to that network drive. Now I would recommend you use a UNC path versus a map drive letter for various reasons. So I'll show path in Explorer to make sure it's happy with that path, so it's pointing to it, and then I'll save that. Now it tells me for the new path to take effect I must exit AccuTrack completely, which I'll now do. And now open it back up again, and I'll be pointing to my blank database out on my network drive. Now it's asking for an activation key because I've changed its path, and you'll have that, or you can copy it from the older path if you'd like. But now I'm logging in to my blank database now out on my network drive. And I can verify the path again, and then I can go look and make sure I don't have any information, which I don't. So I have nothing in this database. It's now ready for me to start doing imports and getting it ready to go for next semester. Now, by the way, you can copy a database through the software itself. Also, anytime you do a database operation such as an update, copy, whatever, I recommend you get a copy of the database. Now, copying a database, again, can be done through the software, but it can be as simple as copying the AccuData folder. So just like that, I've made a backup of my database. If I go to database backup, what it will do is date and time stamp that backup. So year, month, day, hour, minute, second. I click OK, and now it will back up my database for me. And automatically it creates a backups folder here, and it puts each of the backups again by their date time stamp in that backups folder. The next operation I want to perform is updating an older database to AccuSQL 2016. That's a requirement because Accu 2016 is looking for new tables, new columns in tables. If it doesn't find them, in other words, it's pointing to a non-updated database, it's going to complain and give you lots of grief when you try to open it. So let's go ahead and do that. Now also out on my network drive, I'm going to go up a level. I've got an Accu 2014 folder. In that folder I have an AccuData database and a data dictionary. Okay, so let's look first at the AccuData folder. And in this folder I'm looking for a dataversion.inf. Okay, now the data version is always one behind, I should say this number here is always one behind the actual software. So 13.0.0 means AccuTrack 2014, 14.0.0 or 14.0. whatever is a 2015 database. 15.0.0 is a 2016 database. Now, how do I update the database? Okay, that's all based on the data dictionary. So remember, I have a 13.0.0 database. I have a 13.0.0 data dictionary. So that tells me it's a 2014 database with a 2014 data dictionary. So what I'll do now is rename this and call it Data Dictionary 2014. I don't really even need the folder, but I'll keep it there just for safekeeping. So the next step, go back to my Accu 2016 install folder, and I'm going to copy the data dictionary from there and paste it into my AccuData folder in my network drive. Now if I go look at this data dictionary, data version.inf, see it says 15.0.0. So now I've got a condition with a 13.0.0 database and a 15.0.0 data dictionary. When you have that situation, the next time that I set my path and exit, I'm going to reopen the software and it will tell me it needs to update the database. So I've merely copied that path, tells me for changes to take effect I need to exit, sure, and now I'm going to reopen it. And it tells me updating database from 13.0.0 to 15.0.0, attempting to update files, and it'll go through a whole process here. So it's creating a temporary folder, putting the files in it, updating them, and then ultimately it's going to put them back into its database folder. Okay, now that's finished. I can click close here and I'll be opening it. Again, it wants an activation key because I've changed the path. I could go copy that from some other folder it was pointing to before or just paste it in. So now I'm logging into a formerly AccuTrack 2014 database that it's now been updated to version 2016. Now I can go verify that by again looking at my data or my AccuData data version, and it should now reflect that it's a 15, not a 13. So I go show my path in Explorer, look for my data version.inf file, and it now says 15.0.0. I've now updated that database and it's ready to go for AccuTrack 2016. Now, just so you know, updated 2016 database, I can still use AccuTrack 2015 with that. I can use AccuTrack 2014 with that. So I can use the older version of AccuTrack with an updated database. What I cannot do is open AccuTrack to a non-updated 15 or 14 database that I have not updated to version 2016. Again, it'll give you a lot of grief if you try to do that. All right, the next thing here is the clean and repair. Hopefully you won't see it, but from time to time it's possible that you could get some data corruption. Typically that happens when a table is being opened through AccuTrack across the network. It's trying to write data to that table, and at that exact time we lose the network connection. Now we put some code in place to make that a lot less than it ever used to be. Like the old 10 versions, we would see that a lot more. But it's possible that it can happen from time to time. If that does happen, 9 out of 10 times a database repair is going to fix that for you. So I'm logged in as administrator and I'm going to click repair, and it's going to go check the tables, goes through a whole different process looking for anything it doesn't like, and it will fix the records. So now I've repaired the database. Okay, so if you see such and such table has become corrupted and needs repair, you'll see that at login, or if you try to access a screen sometimes, then your first step is to go to database repair, and that should take care of the issue. The other thing, if AccuTrack becomes sluggish, it's not a bad idea to clean it from time to time. What that will do is when you delete a record, it's not really deleted in AccuTrack, it's merely marked for deletion. So this will permanently delete those records and re-index all the tables in the database. And it'll ask if I want to back up first. Well, probably not a bad idea. And now it's going to do the clean, and it'll let me know when it's done with that. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing either a clean or repair operation is you must have exclusive access to the database in order to perform those operations. So you need to get everyone out of AccuTrack, have it signed in only on one station, and that would be the station where you can do the clean and repair.